Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Daily Update. Today is Monday, October 19th, 2015. I'm DSP, of course, and I said this on Twitter this morning. Today is the calm before the gaming storm. And you may wonder, what the heck is Phil talking about? Today is officially the final day before we hit a crazy torrent of non-stop big game releases. From now, all the way through November. There's a little bit of a lull at the end of November for Thanksgiving week, but then heading into early December, and pretty much till the end of the year, what it's looking like is we are going to have so many big, high-profile releases starting this week that we're just going to be carried right into the end of the year. Whether it's, ongoing playthroughs, reviews, my year-end videos, I know I'm going to be just busy, right? Covering all these new games that people want to see, and that's awesome. I've said up to now that besides maybe Until Dawn and Metal Gear Solid 5, most of the game releases that have come out the past couple of months have been a little, underwhelming, not really too much hype behind them. And even though I might have enjoyed them, for example, Transformers Devastation, they certainly didn't translate into anything that the mainstream is too interested in. And so here we are, the final day, the calm before the storm. I'm fully aware that starting tomorrow, we're going to have non-stop new stuff going on. And I explained all of this in the weekend preview last night. However, I have a small update in regards to the schedule for everyone today, because I was talking this out with people on Twitter this morning to try to figure out exactly what I should do in regards to the gaming schedule this week. So this Tuesday, tomorrow, is the release of both the final episode of Life is Strange, which everyone seems to be just a buzz about. We want to see how this game's going to end. It seems to have been one of these games where your actual choices matter, or maybe they don't. We're not sure yet. And it's just a really good game so far, and we're really awesome to see this end of this narrative-style game, right? Also, we've got the conclusion of Tales from the Borderlands, which was a game that a lot of people questioned whether Telltale Games could do a game based off of another franchise besides, say, The Walking Dead or another existing game franchise. A lot of people had said, gee, Borderlands itself is a great game franchise. Can Telltale do a episodic narrative-based game based off of someone else's universe? And at least from my experience, the answer has been yes. I've really enjoyed Tales from the Borderlands, and I hope that you've enjoyed my playthrough of it all year. So that's going to conclude tomorrow as well. But the big question on everyone's mind is, when are these games going to be available? Because what's been happening is, especially with Life is Strange, it doesn't release earlier on in the day on PlayStation Network. It seems to release in the later afternoon times. And there's been a few times this year where I've been able to play Life is Strange on my first gameplay stream, which traditionally starts around 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. No problem. And then there's been other days when it just was not available at all at that time, and I had to play it either later on at night or the next day. Same thing with Tales from the Borderlands. Sometimes it's been available earlier on in the day on Steam, and there's been a couple times when it hasn't been available until the evening time. So I think the best course of action to take in this regard, even though as much as I'm dying to play Life is Strange, right, I get the feeling this final episode's going to be pretty long, since it is going to wrap up the game. At least I'm thinking at least 2.5 hours long, if not longer. And I don't want to do that on a second session, because, my second sessions traditionally last about 2 hours. And the last thing I want to do is get tired or run down or go super long for the conclusion of the game. I want to give it its due. I don't want to feel like I'm rushing through it, okay? So I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow, Tuesday, October 20th, my first session of gameplay is probably going to be more Talos Principle, and it's probably going to end up maybe being the final session. Because today I'm going to focus with Talos on getting through the third stage, Stage C, which is like a church-level, medieval style, going through the normal puzzles. Then tomorrow I'm hoping to finish those off and maybe get to the end of the game. We'll see. So that'll be my first session. My second session tomorrow will be a live stream. Yes, the return of live streaming gameplay tomorrow night, around 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. It will be the conclusion of Tales from the Borderlands. And that will be, again, live streamed, as long as it is available on Steam, and I think by that time it should be. Which means that Wednesday, October 21st, my first gameplay stream, and yes, this will be live streamed, at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, will be the conclusion of Life is Strange. And I know some people will be a little disappointed. Oh, he's not doing it on Tuesday? Well, if it was released dependably early enough for me to do it, I would say, yes, I'll play it. So, let me put it this way. If there's a miracle, and I wake up tomorrow morning and everyone's like, wow, Life is Strange released on PlayStation Network early, then I'll do it as a gameplay stream tomorrow, on Tuesday. But chances are that's not going to happen. Even Square Enix, they released the schedule this morning. They're like, we don't know when it's going to come out. We'd like to say 4 p.m., but we have no idea. It depends on PlayStation Network. So, we'll see what happens with that. Worst case scenario, it's Talos Principle and the conclusion of Tales from the Borderlands tomorrow, and Life is Strange, and then I'll probably end up doing like a Disgaea 5 session of gameplay as the second half of Wednesday, alright? So that's the small change that may happen to the schedule, all dependent on when Life is Strange is released. And then Thursday's the same as I said in the weekend preview. It'll be the Street Fighter V beta. Friday will be Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will be a balance of those two games. Probably with more of a focus on Assassin's Creed. But, you know, I do want to at least put in one more session of the beta of Street Fighter V, because 2 characters are going to be released over the weekend that I would like to try out, okay? So, speaking of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I've got something I want to talk about quickly, because it seems, again, people are messaging me this morning on Twitter, and they're saying, Phil, people are already playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate and uploading all the videos to YouTube. There's already playthroughs on YouTube. And I don't know why people are even basically telling me this at this point. I kind of talked about this with Halo 5 a couple days ago. This isn't surprising. This is not even rare or not commonplace anymore. This is happening more and more. And it's happening, you know, what I mean by that is games showing up on YouTube before they're actually physically released in stores, so everyone can play them. And there's 2 scenarios here. The first scenario, alright, is that someone got an advanced copy of the game, whether it was legit means or not, and they're putting up a playthrough illegally, because you're not supposed to break street date when you upload videos to YouTube, and YouTube sometimes enforces it and sometimes doesn't. It more is reliant on the publisher. If the publisher tells YouTube, listen, crack down on people playing this game ahead of time, they usually do, and a lot of the times the publisher doesn't. So it really depends on the publisher rather than YouTube, but you're not supposed to do it. Yes, it is actually against the law to break street date, even though people don't seem to realize that. And, you know, they'll do it, and it's very simple. If they're doing it without permission, if they're just doing it because they got an advanced copy through whatever means, it's very simple. It's because they're not putting up a playthrough because they like the game. They're not putting up a playthrough because they're legitimately, you know, a gamer who wants to share their gameplay experiences. They're doing it for money. It's that simple. They want the views, they want the money, and they realize they have some kind of underhanded means to beat everyone to the punch and put their playthrough up on YouTube ahead of time. And if that's the case, obviously you probably shouldn't watch or support those people, but chances are that the people who are watching it don't care. It's the common viewer, oh man, the game's out already, I'll watch the videos. They don't care about the person who's uploading it, they just want to see the game. Alright? Now, the other scenario, and this is more of the scenario that happened with Halo 5 a few days ago, is that people have a copy of the game because the publisher directly sent it to them, and they actually gave them explicit permission to put up a playthrough early. And game publishers are doing this more and more. They're doing it with bigger YouTubers, and saying, here, you know, here is a way for us to promote our game for free. We give you the game ahead of time, you play it, you put it up on your channel early, which obviously is going to give you views and revenue, because you have the game up before everyone else, and we get free promotion. Alright? So, it's going to happen more and more. It happened with Halo 5. If it's happening with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I don't know if it is, but if it is, you know, you're going to see this more and more. Because now it's kind of the flip side of how it used to be. It used to be that everyone would go to the store, get the game, and it was the dedicated gamers and YouTubers who would come home with that game and immediately start playing it, play the hell out of it, and upload those videos to YouTube right away. And I used to be synonymous with that. I was one of those dedicated people who would go out, get the game on release day, sometimes even go to a midnight release, come home, play it, and immediately start uploading videos for everyone, so that if you wanted to enjoy that playthrough, you could enjoy the game right away. And I would beat the game faster than everyone else on YouTube. I would play the hell out of it, and my playthrough would be up within 2 or 3 days, and the game would be completed, right? That's not how it works anymore. It's just not. The common person doesn't have that opportunity anymore. And I know a lot of people who do enjoy playing these games feel like they're being cheated, because why is it that other people get an advanced copy of the game and not me? Why do other people get to play the game before me? Why do other people get to make videos of the game and upload them before me? And the bottom line is, it's not a fair playing field anymore. You know, before there was money involved, before these publishers realized that there was big money to be had in the free advertisement of YouTube, right? Until these YouTube gamers, and I call them that strongly because do you really think these people, a lot of them would be doing this if they couldn't make a buck doing it? Think about that. Do these YouTube gamers, before they realized that they could make a buck doing it, were they doing this? Were those YouTube gamers getting, running out and buying copies of games and putting these on the internet? Of course not. I was in that early guard of people who were legitimate gamers who were doing it before we made a penny doing it. We do it for the love of the game. We do it because we want to share our gameplay experiences. And yeah, I'm in the boat of I also get to make a living doing it. But that's just kind of a happy consequence of the fact that I did this for 2.5 years before I ever made a penny doing it. These people who are the big gaming YouTubers, gee, I wonder why they really do it. They weren't around back then, were they? So, for me, I'm not bitter. I'm just saying I know it's there, and I don't understand why people even at this point. You're gonna see with every game, people are gonna play. Here, I'll tell you right now. You ready? People are gonna be playing WWE early. People will be playing Call of Duty early. People will be playing Fallout, Rise of the Tomb Raider early. They're gonna have people playing them early. It's just part of the gaming cycle now. Now that gaming on YouTube is big business, right? Money has been involved. The face of gaming has changed on YouTube. It's not about gamers having fun anymore. It's about where can we make the money? Where can we get the promotion? And that's what it's all about. And you can watch those people if you want. That's your choice. You want to see that advanced playthrough? That's fully in your realm, But there's always going to be other people who are more into it for the love of the game, like me. And those, it's your choice if you want to watch other people or me. And I'm not saying that one's better than the other either. I want you to understand that. A lot of people take the wrong idea and think that I'm saying I'm better or worse. Listen, business is business. People will make money doing things. I make money doing this too. And I don't have to get an advanced copy of the game because I know I have a dedicated viewer base who like to watch me play whatever I'm playing, whether it's a big AAA release or not. And I'm happy about that, So I don't have to worry about, oh no, so-and-so big YouTuber gamers have gotten Assassin's Creed Syndicate early and are putting up their playthrough. I don't give a shit. I really don't. So you don't have to send me those kind of messages on Twitter or whatever. You're going to understand it's going to happen no matter what. All right? That's what's happened now with YouTube gaming, and it's going to continue to be like that into the future. All right? So, that's that. I'll be playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate on Friday. All right? The only other thing I really want to mention, two quick things. Well, it's really the same thing. The voting has now begun on my website, thekingofhate.com, for September patrons who are now voting on what games I'm going to be playing in my Halloween Horror Marathon, which is going to be on October 31st all day long. Okay? So, the games, just so you know, if you didn't check out my Twitter, I posted these up on Twitter last night, but I'll throw this out there for those who didn't see my Twitter post last night. The games that are in contention: Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water on the Wii U, Lucius on the PC, Fear, the original game, probably on PC, unless I can't get it to work on my PC, which I don't know. Manhunt, the PlayStation 2 classic, it's actually emulated right now on PlayStation 3. Siren Blood Curse, the episodic survival horror game on PlayStation 3. System Shock 2, a really old school PC classic, that's available on Steam. Saw 2, which is the actual direct sequel, apparently, to the game that I played in my Halloween Horror Marathon for 2011. So 4 years ago, I played Saw 1. I actually remember I was snowed in. That was what was called Snowtober, where we were completely snowed in. I couldn't even leave my house for like a week because there was so much snow on the ground. So I decided to play Saw because I couldn't go out to get the new releases. That was before everything had digital distribution. You actually had to still pick up the physical release games. So that one, and Silent Hill Homecoming on the Xbox 360. So those are the 8 games in contention. I can tell you right now, strongly in the lead is Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water. Okay? Now this could change. The poll just went up last night. It hasn't even been up for 24 hours yet. But what I've been saying to everyone is we're going to see how the poll goes. And if we have one game that's like resoundingly in the lead by the end of the poll, I may just do a whole day marathon of it. And I'll be honest, Fatal Frame, I think, would be the game that people would want to see me do a whole day marathon of, because it's a new game. It's just coming out at the end of this week on the Wii U digitally. And I think people would like to see me play a horror game like that all day. Especially because I've never really played a Fatal Frame game. I played a little bit of Fatal Frame 3 with Leanna 2 years ago for like an hour and a half, and that was as far as we got. And I haven't played one since then. This is a brand new game, so this could be pretty sweet for an all-day Halloween marathon. Which, by the way, I'll be in costume. I'll have a face cam. It'll be fun. So if Fatal Frame ends up being the resounding winner, I'll probably play it all day. But if we get more of a mix where everything's really close in the contention, then maybe I'll switch between a few games during the course of the day. Of course, keep in mind that would have a lot more downtime because I have to switch between console to PC, back to console, and it would have a lot of in-between time of setup. But we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what the patrons will vote for that marathon. I'll keep everyone in the loop over the next couple of weeks to let you know what's going on leading up to Halloween, okay? And then I do want to say, this month, we have 2 more weeks left, or a little under 2 weeks left, to pledge to my Patreon for the month of October at patreon.com/darksidephil. The goal this month, for my standard $1,250 of pledges, which is what I set as my goal every single month, is a rockathon. Meaning if we hit that goal this month, we're going to be doing a Rock Band 4 marathon, where I play Rock Band 4 with the guitar and vocals. I'll probably start just with the guitar, then I'll switch over to vocals, then maybe I'll do both, and I'll up the difficulty levels. It'll be a marathon the way that I've done marathons previously, where I play, for around 7 hours or so. I don't think I could physically play the game more than 7 hours straight, let's face it. One of the games where actually it's more than just messing with the controller. And that'll be awesome, because I've never done a musical game before, and the reason I'm doing it in this format, if I do hit that goal level, is because it's just going to be one stream or one video. So God forbid if there is a content ID issue or a copyright strike, it's only one. Versus if I make a playthrough out of the game, now you've got all these individual videos that all have potential, and with all the bullshit that I've been through recently, I still got a false copyright strike I'm waiting to get cleared up against DSPGaming. I'd much rather prefer to just do it in that format, and that way there's not a lot of liability, okay? So I hope we hit the goal, but I just want to let everyone know, as of this morning, I said everyone was going to be doing this. People who pledged big amounts last month have started to lower their pledges, because if you're $50 pledge, they're not going to do that every month. They probably did it one month because they wanted to either get a private video or a t-shirt or whatever. And so, FYI, the total amount that's pledged has dropped. And I can tell you right now, I think right now it's like $1,260 or something like that. So it shows as if we've hit the goal, but I'll tell you right now we haven't, because there's still more people who are going to lower their pledges, and there's people who are going to get declined. Traditionally, every month there's around 20 people out of the over 150 that pledge that get declined. So right now we are not safe. Right now we have not hit that goal. So you're going to hear me mentioning this daily up until the end of the month. If we can hit the goal, I would love to do this rockathon. I've said it's going to be late November or early December. We'll see. But we have to hit the goal. That's the point. It's a motivational tool to get people to pledge to my Patreon. So check it out, patreon.com/darksidephil. Keep in mind, you also get your own personal perks from that, whether it's, for as little as $1, you get a text shout-out, and people got text shout-outs last night on the Week in Preview. Verbal shout-outs on podcasts and stuff. That happened actually last week on my Hate Live podcast. You can get your questions answered on Ask the King. You can get your private Q&A video created, where you ask your own personal questions and I make a private video for you. You can get a t-shirt signed and sent to you. You can actually get premium forum access. Hint, hint, to people right now who on the forums who have nominated and are now voting on the Halloween marathon. Those are the people. They got the premium forum access by pledging $5 in the month of September. So, hint, hint, those kind of things will be coming up in the near future. Okay? Alright. So that's all. I'm not going to go too long here. Thank you for watching the daily update. I hope that you found it entertaining. I'm going to jump right into Talos Principle right now. And then later tonight I'm going to be playing more Disgaea 5. And to close the daily update, I know that Talos Principle has been going on for a week now. I know that it's a pretty long game. It's pretty much the longest puzzle game I've ever played. In fact, I'd say the only one that's been considerably this long was Portal 2. And I don't know, honestly, how much longer the game's going to go on. I just don't know how long the Talos Principle is. I am going to try to focus on finishing up today the main stuff in the game, and then decide if I want to go for a longer ending tomorrow, I guess, when I do what's probably going to end up being my final session. There's been a lot of people in disagreement about what I should do with the game, whether I should just go for the easy ending, the medium difficulty ending, or the completionist ending. If I go for the completionist ending, I'm going to have to look it up. There's absolutely no freaking way that I'm going to be able to find all the secret puzzles myself. I mean, I could, but it would take a long time. I'm not saying that I couldn't do it. I've been doing a good job of finding it, but it's probably going to take a significantly long time for me to track that stuff down. I just don't have time. Like I said, starting tomorrow, new stuff every day, non-stop, boom, 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 and I don't have time to go and play Talos Principle. So it is what it is, all right? And then tonight, more Disgaea 5, which I'm excited about. I'm really liking it, and I hope that you will, you know, definitely enjoy that. I hope that you will check that out, continue to check out that ongoing playthrough, and I really like the game, and, you know, it will continue as the game that I juggle with all the new releases. So if there's a lull in the new releases, there's a day where there's not much going on, I will be playing Disgaea 5, okay? Alright, that is it, everyone. I thank you very much for watching, and I'm about to get started with today's gameplay. Thanks for watching the Daily Update. See you later.